gente, a essa hora. Ah, delícia.
Ah, got it. Okay.
My apple.
Saudável.
Okay. Hi, YouTube. You are live in YouTube. It's a 6 a.m. meeting. It's Felipe's Immersion, but today I'm here trying to make a host. I'm trying to guide this conversation with you guys. TALK is a platform to learn English and another languages to talk. It's not a class here. Everyone trying to talk and no one will judge it and correctly. You are only trying to talk and make your idea, express your idea, share ideas and others. Okay. Bruna, can you start to make presentation, please?
Okay, I think it's like the number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. I try. So I'm Bruna. I live in Brasilia. I graduated in physiotherapy and physical education. I worked the best in the hospital, in a specific UTI, and the area physiotherapy. And I had to try to learning physical education, teaching physical education for children, but I didn't like this. And nowadays I work in public service since 2010. And but in the administration area, I loved nowadays what I needed to do in my job, and my group it's very competent group team. I think that's it.
Okay. And you, Katiana?
Hi. Good morning. My name is Katiana. I'm 39 years old. I am an engineer. I am an agronomist engineer, safety and health engineer, and I work in the engineer area. I think it's completely 16 years in last March. And now I work in oil and gas sector with new projects, new ships, or the ships, complementary projects, and it's this.
Okay. I'm Rosalia. I'm 55. I'm living in Joinville, Santa Catarina. I'm married. I have 2 children. This subject is not for me because I've never had make some interview and okay. Because I make the interviews for another. I take the interviews and I've never I don't know, I've never have stay present front another person, make interviews for me and talking about myself, something like that. But it's okay. I will try to talk a little bit about another person because it's not for me. And yeah, and you, coaching, Pedro, how about you?
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here again. I'm Pedro Coutinho, 28, from Poços de Caldas, Minas Gerais, but currently living in Sorocaba. And I'm a production engineer, and I work in a multinational food company. I produce salgadinhos, some amazing products, and it's something that I really like to do, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Like, nice. Okay, are you trying to, how many job interviews have you been to, Katiana, please?
In this last 15, 16 years, I think, I don't remember, but I think it's a lot. And in this part of, I think I have four jobs in these last 15 years, and I think it's around, probably it's a shoot. I don't remember how do you say shoot in English. Probably 10. I think 10 interview.
But you feel excited when you are trying to put yourself the better way, but how to feel in this moment?
I think it's a nervous moment, because sometimes if you have a little moment for explain about all the things you're doing in the job, and I think if you don't do your job very well, you don't follow in this process, and I think it's a very
Delicate.
delicate
Yeah.
time.
Oh my gosh, I've never had this moment. How about you, Bruna?
Well, it's not a specific interview, job interview, because I have never, I think I have never do job interview, because when I started to work, if my friend, she had a physiotherapy clinic, and I start to work with her, and after this I passed in the test, the public service, so I started to work, but I needed sometimes I needed to show my curriculum for the other boss, to grow in the career. And in this moment, she or he asked me a lot of things that I do in the specific area, the administration area. So, but I had a work, no, a job. I had a job, only needed to show my curriculum.
Yeah,
But in this moment, maybe it's calm, because I have a job, but I wanted to other challenge. I wanted to better to grow my income, so it's necessary to do a good interview, no?
yeah. And you think that you are being prepared using the languages for that?
Yes, I think I'm prepared, but I think if you even if you prepared, it's difficult, because like Katian said, it's necessary to show all about you in a short time. Sometimes it's necessary to talk more and more, and but at specific things. No, it's summaries about you. It's sometimes difficult, because I sometimes you have a lot of experience. I Sometimes it's not necessary to talk about my graduate, because in the interview, not the focus. But I think it's so good sometimes when I talk about this, because it show how proactive person I be. I be. I think that's it.
Okay. How about you, Pedro?
Not many. So I started in this company. Is my first job. So I did one interview to enter in, but after that, only small interviews, and it's not a hiring interview. It's only interviews. So you need to talk a little about yourself. You need to talk a little about your work, but I will say that less than 5. So isn't a talk that I'm so used to.
Pedro, I have a request for you. When
Go
you
ahead.
are talking about yourself in a job interview, it's more like you, or like about the the
company, the work,
company, the work, something like
both.
that?
Both. I always separate in two parts. The first part is myself, who I am, what I like, what my family do. So talk literally about myself, forgetting the work. And the second thing is talk about my work, what I do, how I do, why I do, and what are my skills in the work, why they need to hire me, and what technology I know. So I always separate in these two parts.
Because one time I read something that the boy said, you don't need to talk about only about yourself, about me. It's more about the company, about the job.
I don't know if I agree with that, because the person that is there interviewing someone, they want to know about you. They
About
already know
your
about the
life.
company. So I know that you can make questions, you can ask about the company, but I think the main purpose of an interview is know you, the person that is being there to that. So this is only my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, about myself, how many job interviews I had? As I said, I've never make present in a job interview, but if I were talking about, I was teenager, maybe when I start take a job in my little city, everyone knows everyone. Then the boss knows my family. Then when I want to start to work, I had to go to the store, then I talk with the boss knows my father, then I start in another days to work. It's not was interviews, but talking about little things, then in another days I was there working. It's I passed for 3 times like that for all these years. I passed for three times, I think, but all this time was like that. Everyone knows everyone, then only to start to work. Yeah.
It's
I've never.
common in
Yeah,
specifically a small city, no?
yeah,
Because it's your family close for the order in the specific, for example, the supermarket close for your house.
yeah,
No, I
oh,
will contract Rosalia because I
yeah,
know her family. It's
yeah.
very common.
Very
It's
common
it's
because
sometimes you want you said about when you child. It's it's a good experience for you,
yeah,
and because you don't have skills, technical skills necessary to job, but you have value for
yeah,
the
for the
boss.
family,
That's
everyone
it.
knows my
But in nowadays, in the specific, it's a downtown. I think it's difficult to contract
yeah,
someone uh, only want to because you know. No, it's common too. You contract because you know the family.
yeah. In
It's
my
depend.
when I had supermarket, I had contracts so many people that I know your family, something like that, because it's common. Okay, the next. Pedro, can you read the next and answer for this?
Sure. The trip.
The 3.
One moment. Okay. Have you ever been to a job interview and come out thinking or believing that the job was yours? Did you get it? So, I don't know. I'm a little confident, but not so confident that to say that I came off saying that I get it. This is mine. I did my best. So there are moments that I can remember that I think I was good. uh, I was satisfied with my interview, and I was thinking, oh, I I said everything that I want to say. I present myself, so I did my best. If they want if they want me, they will hire me. And if they didn't hire me, it's because they need other person, and this is not the place for me because I deliver everything that I had. So this type of confidence that I did my best in the interview, yes, but the self-confidence that, oh, I don't know others, but this is mine, I think never, because I think in the world there's a lot of good people, a lot of good workers, and ever will have someone that is better than you. So it's like a match with the company. So it's not only the best persons that will be hired. It's the persons that has the better match with the company and with the position.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because it's not all the time you take the better person because they have more confidence when they are talking, then they can find this moment. I don't know. And you, Bruna, how about you?
I agree with Pedro, because it's difficult. You do your better, but I don't know for the other candidates. No, it may be do the better then, and it's the boss, the interviewer prefer, then okay. I think it's difficult because when you participate in a job interview, I think you need to do your better all the time. But sometimes it's difficult because you don't know about the other person, and sometimes the other had have better better skills. It's difficult to have a real confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Tatiana?
It's usually I am very nervous in the interview, job interview, and I remember I work in a company, and I love this company, and I wish work there. And I remember in the interview, I'm very nervous, very nervous, and I'm not confident about myself. But after this, the engineer who me entrevistou speak, or your speak very well. The job it's your job, and but sometimes I'm not confident because I think it's a delicate moment, like I said in the other question.
Yeah, at the moment it's difficult to have these views. Then you have answered the number 4
But
already because it
Rosala,
was
I don't know if he had if you won get a take it easy, calm down in this moment. Katana said it's nervous. I think
one.
ever even me that I had the job only to I wanted to grow for the other career. I'm nervous because someone asked something about you, something about your skills, and you want for the job, you want for to challenge maybe. So it's difficult to get calm. No, I think
Yeah,
it's terrible.
because when you need to talking about yourself is difficult because when you are talking about another person, it's easier than talking about yourself. See your values, see your things that you have. I
And
know.
yeah, and especially when she and he asked about your stretch stretchness, ponto forte and weakness is difficult
Yeah.
because you elogiar myself, it's difficult, and the point your defect, it's not so good too.
But now talking about yourself, how your weakness.
Oh my gosh. Let's go. I'm a proactive person. I like a challenge. But I don't like pressures. I like to do in my time, but I respect the deadline. I think that's it. I wonder person. I like to do my better all the time. Maybe it's
Okay, I will try to hire you. I will send
thank
a
you.
message to you later. How about you, Pedro? Talking about your weakness and your strengths.
This is always a hard question.
Yeah,
I
I
will
know.
say that my strength is that I'm focused. I like to learn, and I always like to learn. I think this is my better strength, that I'm always open to learn new things. And my weakness, I will say that I'm not so organized, and sometimes I'm always in a running and I forget some things. So I need to take note about my compromise and my schedule, because if I only think in that in my mind, I will forget something. So I can say that I'm not so organized. I could be better in this point of my life.
Great. And you, Katiana?
I think I'm a very proactive person, and I think I'm work very well with the team, because I work with projects in this in and when you work with the 10, 11, 50 people, I think you need a special skill. It's a negotiation, because all the time I need negotiation time, and the other things for do the schedule right, the project. I think I'm very good in this topic, but for the other hand, sometimes I'm not a paciente. I don't remember paciente in English. I think it's a false cognato, but because sometimes the people don't sometimes the people, it's not how can I explain this thing, but I see now with the younger people put a big wall in a small problem, and when I see these things, I think, oh my God, it's these things is so easy for resolve, and these people they speak about a very small problem, and with this I don't have experience. It's very common between the youngers, transformam uma gotinha numa tempestade. And for me, with this, I don't have patience.
I know, okay.
Because Katiana, but Katiana, you have experience. It's very
I have a
difficult
child.
for the
My
it's
kids.
difficult for the young person. No, you need to try to have a patient, because it's difficult for younger. I think I started to study for the test and the public service, because I when I my gosh, I entregar to take my curriculum for the clinic in the specific, when I finish my graduate, everyone said asking me, do you have experience? No, I don't have experience. Of course I finished my graduate in this moment, I think, of course, obvious, but I think, oh my gosh, I needed to study for something that don't need for experience, don't need for interviews, because it's more comfortable. I think it's more comfortable for me, because in this moment I don't have experience and nobody wanted to hire me. So it's difficult. Don't have patience to teach me the job. Katiane, I don't believe in this. You need.
If it's very common in the area where I work, if the person don't have experience, I sit with this person for 1 week, and I explain everything about the process and the thing, because in the past I remember this, but I don't. It's not present when the people don't have experience. It's not with this. Because it's very common. The people now in the company, uh, the company need to move on very fast, and it's very common. The people put a little muro gigantesco para resolver coisas fáceis, and I think it's something about culture, because it depends of the company, but I think something it's with the people, and it's not about the experience, because in I see many times the people have the experience. It's about ego, something.
Yeah. Okay. About me, I don't know if I can say something about me, but I will try. About my weakness, I think it's more or less to trying to say no, because it's difficult for me to say no. It's more about family, I think, because, but one day I was in my supermarket, I take so much job for me because it's difficult to say no. Only I said, yes, I do that. Yes, I do that. You can do another things. Then one day I see I was so tired because that. But at the same time, I learned a lot because I was work for me. Then it was the better way to do, because when you are have your own business, you know how do that, and when another person don't do, you learn more. I think is that. Oh my gosh, it's not my subject, but it's okay. Bruna, can you read the 5?
Yeah. Have you ever turned down a job after an interview? Why? No. When I think if you expose your curriculum for analyze and do the interview, I think you want the job, I don't say that you receive the other propose, maybe it's possible. But if it have never happened with me, when I show my curriculum, I want this position in my organ. I think it's so good. That's
But
it.
you never have experience to make interview, then discover this company working another way that you are believe.
No, because I work only the company, the physiotherapy clinic by my friend, and I needed the job at the moment because I don't have nothing to pay my bills, so I continues, and you don't discover nothing about for my specific area. So
Okay, because there is a time that I make interview with a boss. No, it's a boy. Then this boy, when I finished the interview, he said, "I don't want to work more in this place, in my supermarket."
oh my gosh.
I said, "Why?" Because I wanted to use my cell phone. Then I didn't. I can use. I want to use. I need my cell phone. You need to work. It's impossible.
It's sometimes
Only
it's
because that
necessary, no? And you
young.
work all the time. You use your cell phone. It's a big problem nowadays, I think.
Yeah,
No, and the
because
boss
you're
hate
working.
this.
You are working with people. You need to solve the problem all the time. And you are in cell phone. It makes sense. And you, Pedro, how about you?
Oh, well, I don't remember some time that I turned on after the interview, but I did before. So I was invited to participate in a job interview, and I declined because the company, the place, and what they were offering was not something that met for me. So they was to my LinkedIn and they contacted me saying, "Oh, hello, I had an opportunity. I would like you to be interview and let's have a talk and something like that." And I say, "Oh, I appreciate it, but I think it's not the moment. I'm okay in my company. I'm okay in my moment. So I appreciate your attention, but I will decline in this moment because I can't see myself changing my job in this point of my life." So I declined before the interview, but never after interview when I did, and I was, "Oh, this is not the place for me." Well, there are times that I there one answer that I did an interview, and during the interview I discovered that this was not a place that I went to work, but I didn't say it. I was polite, but in the end I didn't pass, so nothing changed.
Mm.
So I didn't need to decline or to turn down. They didn't harm me, but I will not accept you. So is that?
Okay. How about you, Tatiana?
In the past, I declined for after one interview because I know and speak with the other colleague engineer and the culture about the safety because the position is safety and health engineer, and this company don't have a culture about the safety and put the employers in many perigos and risks. And for me, it's not okay because the recruiter said other things in the interview, and when I speak with my colleague, the the thing is very different, and I decline and I don't speak about this about the culture, but I said in that moment it's about I accept other good offer in other company, and I decline because of this, because of the culture.
Okay.
And do you have the
Opportunity?
other job? Offer job,
No, I continue
Ah,
in the company where I work because I it's in the oil and gas sector, and it's very common. The accidents in the oil and gas sector, if you don't have culture about security, it's very serious. And for me, and for the safety and health engineer, it's a big problem because you lost your in one employer in the factory or in the oil and gas. It's a big responsible. And if the company don't have this culture about safety,
the minimum.
yes, it's a big problem, and
Yeah.
I declined because of this. I
Got it.
continued in my job, and after one time, I received other opportunity, and I go and I'm moving for the other company because of the culture with security. It's very stronger.
Yeah, I got it. So I think it's necessary you respect your value and then special minimal conditions for the job, for the work. I you expect you need to the minimal condition to work.
Yes.
Yeah. The safe is the priority. Okay. I don't have experience about that. Have you ever turned down a job after interview? It's like you are happy. What do you think the interviewer is looking for at the interview? Coaching. How about you? How do you think the interview are waiting for?
What they are waiting for?
Yeah.
Oh, I will say that good persons. So I will say that something that my last boss always said for me: hire good persons, train skills. So you will never hire a person that has all the skills but is a bad person, is a hard person to deal with, is impolite. So they are trying to hire good and polite person. So someone that know how to deal with people, how to be polite, that will maintain a good climate in the equipe, that work well with others. So you need to hire values, something that make this be a good person. Oh, but he don't have the skill. Okay, you train them to have the skills. So you hire the person, you train technique. You don't hire technique without personality or values, because this is something that will make totally the difference. If you're hiring someone that is very graduated with a lot of course, with a lot of techniques, and he knows it, everything, but is a person that don't work well in team, is a person that is impolite with their co-workers, don't respect hierarchy, don't like to talk with boss. So this is not the type of person that you are looking to have in your team. So it's something that I always remember, that you need to hire values and we will train skills.
But you think only in the interview you can realize that? All your
Totally
personality?
depends. Nah, not totally the personality. You can be deceived totally. Totally, you can think that is a good person, but then you will discover, because an interview is very short to know someone. You will need to see and try get it. I would say that there are persons that are very influent, and when they speak very well, and they convincing you, and very short then you say, whoa, this was not what I saw. I think I was denied. And this is normal too, because it's hard to evaluate persons. So I need we need try our best, but assure that we will make mistake in this process, and we will hire wrong persons. But I think with time you get some feeling to say, whoa, I feel a good something good coming from this person. And so I would say that with experience interviewing people, you will get used to start to know, like, he's only talking, he's not that way. And oh, I like this. He's humble, he's hard work. So I say that is something hard, but that you interviews and HR people, they develop this feeling.
Yeah, I know that because when I have my employers, I prefer put them work a little for see your your work is make some experience to see than working, because only the interview is difficult to realize this kind of thing. And you, Bruno, how about you?
I think Pedro calmed my hurt.
Oh,
Yes, because I'm discussing with you all. I have a big problem for this because, for example, I in the other immersion, Philip is asked about your what your skills, your best skills, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes difficult because I want to do anything. But I don't have a great experience, a great knowledge about a specific things, for example, area. But I'm a great person. I know work in the team. I'm Pedro said about my person. I think it's so good for me, and I want to learn anything, and I'm adapted many environment. The company, I think it's so good. And I think if you want to talk with your boss, Pedro, that I have a place I want to, it's possible to hire me, I think. So that's it. I think the interviewer looking for good person. I think it's necessary, not not the technical skills and special social skill, like Pedro said. I think it's very important because it's possible to learn to teach anything for the other person if the person want. It's a big problem. If the person don't want to learn something, it's difficult. But when I receive the new employee in my sector, one thing that I observed that it's if the person wanted to learn something, the job, sometimes is a great person, but it's difficult if they don't want to learn a different things and outside the box.
Okay, how do you think it is more value? The person making the interview, the person who needed needed employer, or for a psychology or another person?
I think it's better if the boss interview because they know what you want and you have the contact with the person eyes to eyes. I think it's more important when the
Yeah,
other because psychology it's possible to realize the other value, the other environment, no behavior, the other behavior. But I think it's better if I had a company. Uh, I have a company. I prefer I do the interview. I make
yeah,
the
I
interview.
agree totally, because I think psychology is only to see the point. I think the weakness the another person don't help so much. I
Yeah, maybe it's
don't believe it's
possible
better.
to realize more about the social
But
skills because
yeah,
have the knowledge about this. But I prefer to do if I was, I prefer to do the interview.
yeah. How about you, Coutinho?
I will say both, because I believe in the psychologists when they say that they study to understand people. So this is their work, know and understand the mind. So there are moments that they can see things that we can't.
Yeah,
And I totally agree when you say that, oh, I harm myself. And we liked, and I put myself in this place because we want to be in the control. We want to be the one that decide and say, oh, I will hire you and not you.
yeah,
The one that make the decisions. And I think this is very important because once you hire this person, it starts to be your responsibility. So I will be responsible for the persons that I choose, and I can make a mistake. But I think that we need two different process in a job interview. The first one is with a psychologist, maybe a HR person, and a lot of HR persons are psychologists. My HR is psychologist. So this is the step one. And the persons that they see, that they say, oh, I think this is a good candidate. They send for the owner of the position, so your direct boss, and he will be the last decision. He will be the one that will decide it. So you make two interviews, and then both will talk and decide about you and about the other candidates. And I think this is a good process because you have two different points of view about you. You can be good in one and not so good in others. So they will decide together. And this show me that the person that's hired me is not so strong because there are moments that already listen that in an interview. Oh, I'm hiring you and I can fire you. I'll say, okay, I know that, but this is a little harsh to say. So I think that psychologists can handle this better, can make this a more human process. So I believe that we could use both and they talk together and make a decision. This is my point of view.
Yeah, because when the boss says, I will hire, but I can fire you, it's wanted to show
It's
I
only
am a
trying
boss.
power.
I am a
Yeah, it's
boss.
only to show power.
Yeah,
It's the same.
at this point. Yeah, it's difficult to say. Okay. What do you think the person? Oh, it's the same. This question is not mine. It's another boy. Okay. Do you think interviews should be carried for the? Have you ever interviewed anyone for a job? Oh, you said Pedro all the time make interviews for a job because you need to have a team. Oh, number 10, Pedro. Do you think social skills are more important for a job interview than the skills required by the job itself?
Yes, I think job interview. Well, depends a lot. What is the position? What they are searching for? I will say that social skills are every needs. So every place that will go work, it will need that because customers are customers are people, clients are people, colleagues are people, your family are people. So the world lived in a group, and this will be necessary in your work, in your family, in your relationship. So social skill is something that is very, very needed. And people that know how to deal with other persons, usually they get well in a lot of places and I got a lot of positions because they know how to deal with persons. And this is very important. I would not say that this is the most is important for every job because I think there are jobs that you need to have a technical skills. So let's see. I'm applying for IT develop platform. Oh, I'm a good person, but I don't know how to program. I think you is not the best person for the position. So I think that I'm applying for be a doctor, but I'm not good. I don't have the degree. I think you were not the best person for the position. So I think is a match. You need to have the basic skills, the base technical to be acceptable for this position, and then you will show your personality and your good social skills. But only the only the social skills without any background that will support you technically in this new position, I think isn't enough because sometimes we need to have the basic. We don't need to have to be specialist in that. You don't need to be the bestest in this type of thing. So, but you need to know the basic. So I'm not the bestest in PowerPoint, but I know use PowerPoint. I think this is the point. You need to know the basic, and then the social skills will help you.
Great. And you, Bruna, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with Pedro. I think it's social skills is very important, but sometimes you need to, if the position in the specific position, you need to prefer would you rather the technical skills. Sometimes it's very important. And like you said about the IT developer, in the IT, it's very common. It's possible the person work alone. So it's common. It's not necessary have the social skills because it's maybe it's he works better if he alone in your only the your computer. I think it's that's it. But if necessary, a project like Katana said in the beginning, I think it's very important, the social skills, because in the project you have a lot of other person work together, and the communication is important, and the polite, it's I think it's necessary, the social skill.
Great. Oh, I think you have more. 3 minutes. Coutinho, can you resume our conversation today for us a little
Sorry?
bit? Can you resume? Make a resume
Yeah, I
our
can.
conversation.
Well, today we talk a lot about interviews, what to do, what they are expecting, what are our experience with that. If we have turned out, if you have feeling good with these interviews, what they are looking for. So we talk about how to what they are trying to find in when they are interviewing persons. So what are the most and the better way to deal with the interview? And we share a lot about our past experiences. This is a
Great.
little resume.
Okay, great. You make so good
Thanks.
work. Okay, I wanted to thank a lot of you guys, because I was so nervous at the beginning. I'm nervous since now, because I was waiting for another person to make a host that I need to make. It's okay. You are help me a lot. Thank you
You
so
did
much.
great.
Thank you for you
Thank you.
accepted the challenge today.
Okay.
Yeah, was amazing.
It's
Don't
okay.
worry.
Okay,
Okay.
bye, see ya.
Tomorrow